Rob, and thank you for the invitation and for organizing this conference. I'm going to do a brief presentation on the performance of the company over the last year, some updates regarding the first quarter, and how we see the future. Antofagasta is a pure-play copper producer with high-quality assets in Chile. I would like to remind those of you who are less familiar with our company of our assets in Chile. We have 4 mining operations. 3 are in the north, in the Atacama Desert, and the 4th, Los Pelambres, in central Chile, in an agricultural region. Our mines primarily produce copper in the form of concentrate and cathode, as well as molybdenum and gold as byproducts. Los Pelambres is our largest operation, and Centinela, this is our second largest, and between them, they produce over 80% of our copper. And we have 20 billion tons of mineral resources across our portfolio, with 7 billion in the Centinela mining district and 6 billion at Los Pelambres. These resources make up a robust foundation to ensure our future growth in production for many years to come. In addition to our copper operation, we also have a transport division, Ferrocarril de Antofagasta a Bolivia, FCAB, which is based in the city of Antofagasta and provides the rail and truck service to the mining industry in the region, including some of our operations. So let me now point out the highlights of our 2022 results. Safety remains our top priority, and 2022 was a record year with all our safety indicators improving during the year. In line with our plans, we also had a strong finish to the year with copper production of just over 646,000 tons at a net cash cost of $1.61 per pound. EBITDA was 2.9 billion, and our EBITDA margin remained solid at 50%. Our total dividend for the year, at 59.7 cents per share, represents 100% of our underlying earnings. As a group, we recognize climate change as one of the greatest challenges facing the world. Centinela stopped extracting any continental water at the end of December, and since April last year, all our mining operations have been using 100% renewable energy, reducing our emissions by nearly 1 million tons of CO2 equivalent since 2020. All our operations achieved the Copper Mark accreditation by the end of 2022. We continue to work with the communities, making a social investment of $57 million during 2022. And we have achieved our target of doubling the percentage of women working in the group. Not here, definitely, but we can do something for next year, maybe. Looking to the future, we are creating value through our exploration activities, organic growth, projects, and innovation. Following 2 exploration discoveries in Chile, we have increased our mineral resources by over 900 million tons, which is a very important achievement. So let me be a bit more specific on safety. Antofagasta prioritizes the safety, health, and well-being of its people, with no fatal accidents, and all our safety indicators improving during the year. 2022 was a strong year for our safety performance. We continue to reduce the number of high-potential incidents, recording a 35% reduction and the lowest results in recent years. We aim to keep our lost time injury frequency rate below 1. In 2022, the overall group scored 0.84, a 37% improvement. This was due to a strong leadership and greater control strategies, particularly for high-risk tasks. And in the first quarter of 2023, the overall group scored 0.35, down by 60% compared to Q1 2022. So let me now take you through our operational performance in 2022. Copper production, as I mentioned, was just over 646,000 tons, 10% lower than in 2021, but mainly due to the planned temporary reduction in throughput at Los Pelambres because of the drought that has been in Chile for the last 13 years. Our mines, as most large mines, have a declining grades year on year. And to address this, we are focused on enhancing the operational reliability and utilization rates of our plants and equipment. Centinela Concentrates and Antucoya achieved record throughput rates for a year exceeding their design capacity. The complex global environment in 2022, with constrained logistic chains and the continuing inflationary pressures, had a significant impact on important inputs such as diesel, sulfuric acid, and explosive, while this was mitigated by the weaker Chilean peso. Higher input costs and lower plant production adversely affected cost. This is temporary. However, this was partially mitigated by the benefits from our cost and competitiveness program, which helped to reduce costs by 7 cents per pound, and I will talk a bit more about that later. Overall, our net cash costs for the year were $1.61 per pound. The transport division transported a record 7.1 million tons during 2021, 6.1% higher than in 2021. In 2022, higher than 2021. Regarding our performance this year, yesterday we announced our first quarter production results, and production and cost performed was as expected, with copper production at 45,900 tons, and net cash cost at $1.54 per pound, with production affected by reduced water availability at Los Pelambres and lower grades at Centinela as we expected. Let me talk briefly about Chile. In Chile, there are two important changes underway which could or will affect the mining industry. A new mining royalty bill has been under discussion for the last 2 years, and a new constitution which process began at the end of 2019. In October last year, the government presented a revised mining royalty bill, which is currently being discussed in Congress. While this is an improvement on prior revisions, we think the latest proposed rates will impact industry investment and growth, and therefore it is key that remaining Congress deliberation adequately balance the increase in taxation with the future competitiveness of the industry. During this week, the government presents some additional amendments which are being discussed in the Senate Treasury Committee, and we expect to have news on this probably during May. As regards the new constitution, it was rejected in a national referendum in September last year, and a new draft of the new Chilean constitution is being drafted by an appointment committee of experts. And next month, the members of the Constitutional Council will be elected by direct vote. The Council will work with the committee to finalize the draft, supported by a committee of technical advisors. And the new constitution will be then put to a vote in a national referendum in December 2023. Now let me move to sustainability. During 2022, all 4 of our mining operations were independently assessed against 2 benchmark industry responsible production standards, the Copper Mark and the ICMM's Performance Expectations Standard. Since it is important that we provide reliable information to our stakeholders regarding our performance, last year we started publishing online our ESG data book, which we will update quarterly to have all the information available to who want to see it. Our strategy allows us to put back more into society than we take out. We do this by setting ourselves goals on climate change, diversity and inclusion, by joining global challenges, protecting our employees, and developing our suppliers, as well as by addressing our environmental impact so that overall we have a net positive impact. Our 2022 sustainability report was published in March and is available in our website. The report sets out our sustainability strategy, priorities, and performance regarding the main material sustainability issues that affect our business and our stakeholders in 2022. We are committed to the environment and mitigating and adapting to climate change. All mining operations have been using 100% renewable energy since April 2022. With an estimated emission reduction, as I mentioned, of nearly 1 million tons of CO2 equivalent of our Scope 2 since 2020. With this reduction, we met our 30% reduction commitment 3 years early as it was planned. We have already begun working on a decarbonization plan for all our operations, defining the baselines, the replacement plan for haul trucks, the projection of energy inputs, as well as agreeing the assumption for current and future technologies. In 2022, water reuse rates at our mining operation range from 79 at Los Pelambres to 94 at Zaldívar. With the completion of the Los Pelambres desalination plant this year and following its expansion, we expect that sea and recirculated water will account for more than 90% of our total operational use by around 2025. Now move to our growth project. We aim to be a reliable and responsible copper producer. So let me talk about our pipeline. We have several exploration and late stage projects which are in different phases of evaluation and will generate organic growth for the company, including two recent discoveries called Encierro and Cachorro. At the end of Q1 2023, the Los Pelambres desalination plant and concentrator expansion projects were 96.2% complete. At the desalination plant project, water has successfully been pumped through the entire water system, and it is expected to come into production by the end of this quarter. And at our concentrator plant expansion, commissioning will begin in this quarter as well. Progress continues with the engineering and pre-investment studies for the Centinela second concentrator project, and we expect the project will be sent to the board for a final investment decision once a resolution becomes clear on the royalty situation in Chile. Our exploration. During 2022, we increased our mineral resources by over 900 million tons, with over half of this coming from two recent exploration discoveries in Chile. Cachorro, in the northern Chile, reported its first inferred reserves in 2021, and these were increased by over 70% during 2022 to 242 million tons at 1.2% copper. This makes the project one of the most important manto-type deposits in the northern coastal belt in Chile. Also, it lies between Antofagasta and Centinela, and so they benefit from the use of their facilities. The Encierro project, the second one, it is in the Chilean high Andes, which is nearly 4,000 meters above sea level, and 100 kilometers east of the city of Vallenar and 600 kilometers north of Santiago. Declared its maiden inferred resources in 2022 of 522 million tons at 0.79% copper equivalent. We will continue to drill both of these deposits and advance them through the development cycle over the coming years. As you can see here, photos of our expansion phase 1 in Los Pelambres. The project will allow us to mitigate the impact on production caused by the drought, as I mentioned, and in line with our sustainability perspective, make water resources available for other uses such as agriculture. The project will also increase production and it adds a fourth SAG mill to the current plant, which will allow higher throughput and processing harder ore at Los Pelambres. As you can see here, we have a pipeline of organic growth projects over the next 4 years and beyond, including those currently under construction, as already mentioned, as well as those we expect to bring on stream over the coming years. Once complete, the projects currently under construction, in addition to those complete last year, will contribute to 12 to 14% increase in our group production. And if the second concentrator project at Centinela is approved, group production has the potential to grow by a third to approximately 900,000 tons. The second concentrator at Centinela is expected to position Centinela in the first quartile of the cost curve, together with Los Pelambres. Despite inflation and the planned temporary lower production due to water restrictions at Los Pelambres, we deliver results better than our cost guidance for 2022. Structurally, we have been working successfully on reducing lower long-term energy costs, implementing remote operation centers and autonomous equipment which reduce sites and manpower costs, increasing byproduct recoveries at our concentrator operations, and making investment which, through increased production, allow for the dilution on fixed cost. On operating efficiency, we are very pleased that the Centinela concentrator is now consistently operating above design capacity. In 2022, daily throughput reached 109,000 tons, which is 4% higher than design. In summary, in 2022, despite the temporary and unfavorable impact on costs of the planned lower production, our constant competitiveness program contributed benefits of $124 million. Regarding innovation and technology, in 2022, we inaugurate our first fully autonomous operation at Esperanza Sur pit at Centinela. During 2022, we advanced our in-house patented primary sulfide leaching technology called Cuprochlor-T, and this process has the potential to unlock value from previously uneconomical mineral resources and is being considered as an option for the existing operations in the future. This year, move to 2023, this year copper production will be in a range of 670 to 710,000 tons, which reflects the completion of the Los Pelambres desalination plant and expansion during the year. Group cash costs in 2023, after byproducts credits, are expected to be $1.65 per pound or lower, and capital expenditure is expected to be $1.9 billion. Our capital allocation framework is fundamental to all our financial decisions, and we have a minimum commitment to our shareholders of paying 35% of our underlying net earnings as dividends. With our excess cash flows, we consider the strength of our balance sheet and then assess the potential funding required for our growth. Our commitment to maintain production at a competitiveness cost through this cycle is paramount. This has allowed us to capture the full benefits when our product's price increases. Based on this, our payout ratio for the last 3 years has been 100% and has averaged 80% over the last 5 years. Let me finish by looking ahead to this year and the opportunities ahead. Safety is always our top priority. We are committed to having 0 fatalities, and we will continue with our relentless focus on protecting the health of our workers and communities. We continue to embed our climate change and sustainability strategy in all our decision-making. On the critical resource of water, we will continue to take all necessary actions to mitigate the impact of the drought on communities at our operations. Most significantly, we will start production at our desalination plant this quarter. And we are committed to maintaining our financial discipline with a focus on value creation and shareholders' returns. We are in a strong position to take advantage of the growth in copper demand. We have the embedded tones across our business and the ability to unlock them in a sustainable way. 2022 was an expected temporary drop in our production profile, which continued this year, but looking forward, we see growth coming in the short and longer term as we advance our projects portfolio. Thank you for your attention.